Hey, this is Dana from the Dana and Travis Show. We'd like to thank all of our loyal fans. And if you have any suggestions or ideas for future show topics, you can email us at danaandtravisshow@gmail.com, or you can contact us on Facebook or Twitter. Hope you enjoy the show.
You're listening to a Collapsar Digital Studios production.
Live from Bloomfield, Indiana, you're listening to The Dana and Travis Show.
Greetings and well wishes. I'm Dana,
And I'm Travis.
broadcasting to you live from Collapsar Digital Studios in Bloomfield, Indiana, bringing forth the knowledge of the universe in 60 minutes.
We hope you enjoy the show.
Alright, this is the Dana and Travis Show, episode 7. I'm Dana,
And I'm Travis.
and we're going to keep you entertained here for about an hour or so, hopefully. Travis, what's happening?
Nothing much. Just had a busy work week once again, and I'm sure you did too.
Yeah, same old, same old. It's been really hot and humid this week.
Yes, it has. Not so much where I work, because I work in an air-conditioned environment.
Normally I do. Well, we're in a controlled environment this week. However, I've been kind of in and out of my controlled environment, so it's been kind of an uncontrolled environment.
That's not fun.
No.
Because I know how humid it was.
There was a couple of pretty brutal days, and today again it seems like we're into this the late afternoon rain showers all week long, which is good for the grass and the gardens. I've got a huge Cubanelle pepper that I've been growing. I've got some tomatoes that are blossoming now. Hopefully, I have some tomatoes.
I know you're big about your garden.
I've really slacked over the last few years, but
You've always been really good at growing.
yeah, I love growing tomatoes and peppers are my thing. So I do have some peppers and tomatoes out this year, and I've got this one pepper that I'm just trying to decide what I'm going to do with it.
Well, yeah, I guess you'll figure it out.
I will.
But speaking of growing,
Yes.
you can help grow this podcast by going to Dana and Travis Show on Facebook and looking us up on Twitter. And you can also email us suggestions or thoughts about the show at danaandtravisshow@gmail.com.
That is correct, and we would love to hear from you. We are trying different things, and we are slowly growing, but we need your help. So help us out.
Yeah, and we have a little announcement. I don't know if it's a step in the right direction. Coming up, 4th of July, there's going to be, Bloomfield has its annual 4th of July fireworks down by the park area. And we have been asked to DJ that evening. And we thought that, well, this is a perfect opportunity for us to have people listen to the Dana and Travis Show before we start DJing.
Yeah, so we've been kicking around doing a live podcast. So I think maybe prior to the fireworks and the DJing festivities, we might put on a little extra show and do the Dana and Travis Show at the park.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. It won't be recorded, so none of you have to worry about maybe hearing your voice in the background or something like that. It's just going to be just a free form, just Dana and Travis Show at the park.
Yeah.
So, and while we're speaking about shows, I'd like to apologize to everyone for the lack of last week's podcast. Like I said, it was such a busy week, and I've just been so doggone tired. and I just haven't been able to get it edited. But hopefully, if things all go well, I will have both last week's episode, which was episode 6, and tonight's episode, episode 7, up on the same night. That is my goal. It might not be possible to get them both up at the same time because of the YouTube processing, but I'm very much going to try.
Yeah, I think it'll be all right. It has been a really super busy week, and I've been kind of guilty myself of not getting nearly everything done that I really need to get done this week. So it's okay to give our listeners a little bit of a
little break,
and gives us a little break, and we shall have maybe a couple shows for you here in the next day or two.
And also, I'm also going to announce too that I think we're going to have a little change in how often we're going to put out these podcasts because of this reason of it's just really hard getting this stuff edited and getting it up the same week every week. So I think also to preserve some of the content that we like to provide to you on this show, we are going to make this a bi-weekly show. So we're going to have 2 shows a month.
Yeah, and I think that'll work out, and hopefully maybe the content will also be better, by doing it that way too. So
yeah, because the thing about this podcast is if Dad and I, we like to get together. If nothing else, we like to talk. So that might not prevent us from both getting together. Maybe I've been wanting to start trying to walk. Do some walking. I've been wanting to try that. Get out and do that. I'd like to drop a few pounds. So this might be a good chance for us to use that extra week to get out and enjoy the fresh air.
Yeah, and it seems like time goes so fast. I mean, it's hard to imagine. This is July, so
it's June, into June.
Well, oh yeah, almost July.
Yeah.
So, but just a few months ago when we were in the grips of the polar vortex and the winter that would never end. And, when the weather finally broke, it just seems like, oh, yeah, we're going to get out and walk and do this and that. And
yeah, because after this past winter, you don't think you're ever going to have a nice day outside ever again.
And here we are, almost to the 4th of July. And we all know that it's after the 4th of July,
it's all downhill from
summer's
there.
over.
Yeah, it's all over from there.
Yeah, we're there. I know, was it yesterday or the day before? Was the longest day of the year, Summer Solstice.
I also, I'm sorry, speaking of that, did you see all the huge Summer Solstice gathering at Stonehenge?
I saw that. I think I actually posted on Facebook. That's on my bucket list.
I would love to go to the Summer Solstice at
someday.
Stonehenge.
I will be at Stonehenge on Summer Solstice. Someday.
I mean, it's a big party.
Oh, gosh.
That'd be so cool.
You talk about a freak show. I mean,
Yeah.
it would, and I would fit right in.
Yeah, same here. We would both fit in.
So yeah, I saw that the other day, and every time I see that every year, I'm like, man, I've got to get there.
Yeah, it's just really cool. I mean, you can go look at pictures, you can see how crazy the place gets. I mean, it's packed. It's shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, there's druids and people with animal skins and horns and
all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're gonna change this things up a little bit on the podcast and get it to you bi-weekly, and hopefully that will give us the chance to get more material together and maybe make some more interesting talking for all of you to listen to with your ears.
And maybe even occasionally, we can always throw in a special edition if we so choose to, on an off week.
Yeah.
So no big deal.
Yep, no big deal. Well, but I can tell you what we're gonna make a big deal. It's our main topic of the week. And now the Demon Truck Show presents the main topic of the night.
That's right, main topic of the night. A few weeks back, we talked about our trip to Ireland, and I thought we would kind of continue that tonight.
This will be part 2.
Yeah, Ireland part 2.
If I remember correctly, we left you off where we went to a restaurant in Dublin called O'Neill's.
Oh yeah.
And I think that we also talked about how when we went there, we got this big, huge bowl of lamb stew and some soda bread, and how delicious it was because we hadn't ate all day that day.
Yes, delicious and expensive, but it was still good.
Yeah. The best 60 equivalent of $60 you'll ever spend on
something like that
on Irish food.
Which, and at that point in time, I don't think we had really gotten to the grasp of,
what it is to be in Ireland.
Yeah, and money wise, so what was comparable? €5 is equal to
€5 is the equal to
$10.
No, seven.
Seven.
$7.50.
Okay, so yeah, it was hard to kind of determine, if something was a good buy or not. It was like a meal. A meal that was €30. You're basically talking maybe $40 in a nutshell.
Yeah, about 37. It's about. I know it's something. There's a 7 somewhere in there.
Okay. Well, yeah. Anyway, so it was. Stuff is. It's a little bit more expensive over there,
but it was all worth it in the end. But so we're gonna continue on from there. So here we go.
Yeah, we spent a few days. What, maybe 2 or 3 days in Dublin, something like that.
We spent the first 3 days.
First 3 days in Dublin.
No, we spent 2 days in Dublin, and we left on the third. We left on the 3rd.
But the 2 days that we were there, the Jameson Distillery, I know, was one of the places we
we went to the Jameson Distillery. Well, let's go. Let's talk about our first night at the hostel, though.
The first night.
The first night at the hostel, which
that was sad.
If you've ever talked to if me and Dad about this, you'll know that our first night didn't go so well with in our bunks.
Yeah, the room that we had when we first got to Dublin was like an 8-bed dormitory type room, and it was of course Travis and I, and wasn't there like a girl from Houston or something?
There was like two girls from It was like the redhead from Houston. Then there was another girl. They knew each other.
Yeah.
But then, this is the best part of this. The rest of them were a bunch of Aussies.
Yeah, and these are young kids. They're just in Dublin,
my age,
partying.
They're my age, at the time. So in their early 20s. And if none of you don't know, I think it's like in Australia. Some people take 2 or 3 months out of the year just for vacationing.
Yeah, it's a completely different concept in Europe. Yeah, they don't do a week or 2 weeks.
They do 2 or 3 months at a time.
Yeah. And and a little bit of a backstory, and to where this is going. When I'm really tired, yes. I snore.
Not just now. Let me reiterate on that. You don't just snore. You turn into an animal. Not less an animal. Well, okay. Well, they compared you to what would have been Predator. But so anyway, so we get in and we talk to this redhead girl, and she tells us she's from Houston, and so Dad and I were just chilling. Oh, where were you going? Well, that's your snoring.
No, you're fine.
I covered it.
Yeah, we'll get back to that. Yeah.
Well, anyway, so we talked to this redhead. She tells that she's from Houston. We tell her we're from Indiana, and she's like, oh, and then we start talking. Meeting a fellow American. And she pretty much, she told us that their plans for the evening was to go out and party in the bars, and try to, pretty much to meet guys there.
Yeah, they was out to hook up, pretty much.
Yeah, and I said, and we really hadn't heard much out of the roommate, the Aussies at this point.
Yeah, they were kind of in and out, and so, and even forget what we did that evening. Just kind of walked around.
I know we went to what's that one pub we went to? Oh, well, we went to that one and we watched the live music. Them playing because you got the coddle.
Yeah,
we went to that
it was like O'Garrity's or
O'Garrity's. But you got the coddle, and I got I think I got I think I got lamb stew or fish and chips or something.
And coddle is it's a traditional Irish stew / soup, and it's a creamy base with sausage and carrots, kind of like a potato soup, but not really good.
Yes,
called coddle.
Excellent.
We heard some good live music.
Oh, it was wonderful. I mean, it was traditional, like older gentlemen, singing all your traditional Irish songs and singing songs we've never heard of before. It was so cool.
And I remember them doing Molly Malone and
yeah.
And then we were going around trying to find a CD or something that had Molly Malone on it because we really wasn't sure what it was called.
We were asking people and they were telling us different things, but it just ended up being just Molly Malone.
Yeah, and we found it, so that's a definite favorite of mine now.
Yeah. So we went out that night and we got ourselves good and tired. And we had a long day.
And I would imagine we just probably came in at a normal. It was probably maybe 11. It was before midnight probably when we got in.
Yeah. So we went in and we got some sleep. And or did we stay 3 nights in Dublin? I think we spent 3 nights because we went the one day. Because the next day, it's when we went to the Jameson Distillery and all that. And in the third day, we went down to Bray.
Yeah.
We went down to Bray and Dunleary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we spent we spent 3 nights. Well, we're still going to tell this part of the story anyway.
Yeah. So, anyways, first night we've been traveling, been flying, and
it wasn't too bad.
Beat.
But it wasn't too bad that night.
No.
The night we got into it with the Aussies was the next night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was the next night. The first night, it was kind of okay. These Aussies are kind of annoying. Because we did notice that. We did notice that they were kind of annoying and they were just in and out all the time. We had all of our stuff locked up underneath our beds.
Yeah, and of course, and they had been out drinking all night.
Yeah.
So they were like vampires. So they would lay out drunk all night, and then they would want to sleep, till 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah. So everything was good. The next day, we went up and we went and we got some toast. We went and got some toast and we talked to this interesting lad. He was from Russia, and he was cool, and we talked to him a lot, and he kind of gave us tell us a little bit about where things were and just general stuff.
Yeah, they were real helpful. We could sit down and talk to him and just kind of shoot the breeze with him. And the Russian kid he was all right.
Yeah. So we get out of the hostel, and I think what we pretty much did was we just scouted Dublin.
Yeah.
We just started walking around, and we started looking at stuff, and we visited some shops, and just in general, we were just seeing what there was in Dublin, and possibly where we were going to go. We went to get our bus tickets because we knew we were going to have to leave.
Mm-hmm.
We were going to have to leave Dublin eventually.
Yeah,
so we wanted to get that taken care of.
Yeah, we went down to the bus station, got our bus tickets all taken care of. You're right.
Yeah, and keep in mind we were walking this entire thing. So imagine just going to Indianapolis and just going from one part of Indianapolis and just walking across the entire city. That's what we pretty much did.
Yeah.
I mean, we pretty much just scouted the entire Dublin on foot. We never took a cab once. We never stepped foot in a vehicle other than a bus. So.
Well, we had the junk car.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. That's just true.
So then the second night, so we're we go back to the hostel after our day of just kind of mess around Dublin.
This is where stuff goes down.
Yeah, this is where it takes a very wrong turn.
All right.
So yeah, so we go to bed. It's late, maybe midnight or so, and so I'm laying there in my bunk.
And you fall asleep.
Yeah, I'm in the top bunk. And
Now let me set the stage.
yes, go ahead.
And here's where I set the stage. So I'm still awake. I'm laying in the I'm laying in the adjacent bunk towards. It's closer to the door.
Yeah, and the Aussies are still out partying.
The Aussies are still out partying. So, Dad, he's pretty much asleep, but there was a gentleman underneath him. And between Dad and this guy, I'm just gonna say it. It was hell. I mean,
I didn't hear a thing.
It was a back and forth between Dad going, and the other guy. I mean, it was like clockwork. You would go, and that guy would go, and it was just over and over and over.
I was very tired.
Yes, you were tired, but so I naturally couldn't sleep through it. So, the Aussies have been drinking. Dad's sound asleep. Well, yeah, very sound.
Yeah, I was resting.
he was very sound. So the Aussies come in, and I'm just laying there. And
They started talking trash. I hear.
No, not yet. They came in. They'd been drunk, and they were just like, and they came in. They were, like, oh blimey, like I can't see it from my face, and or however Aussies speak. I can't do it right now. But so they're just going and going and going, and finally they lay down, and then because Dad and the guy kind of stopped doing their snore thing, they kind of stopped, and then everyone's in bed, they're laying down, and then it starts up again. It's just and I'm laying there, and then I hear the Aussie start talking trash, and I just hear, oh blimey, it's like the guy sounds like effing predator. And he's like, and then the one guy, and I was just waiting for it because they were very drunk, and then I hear the one guy says, it's like someone should just freaking punch him in the nuts.
Which would not have been wise.
And they're just laying there, and I mean they're just talking a whole bunch of crap about my dad.
And you're probably sitting there thinking that the crap is getting ready to hit the fan.
Yes, I'm laying there thinking, oh no. I'm like, oh no, something's gonna happen. And sure enough, the one guy gets up out of his bed, he just starts pounding on my dad's bed. And he's like, hey, you're snoring. And Dad, he's just up and he has his fist up.
I'm getting ready to jump out of the bunk and just start throwing down with Aussies.
And I'm just laying here. I'm looking at Dad. I'm just like, no. I was like, and
did I say anything to him?
No, you just kind of.
I remember kind of staring the guy down.
Yeah, you stared the guy down, and nothing else was really said. But didn't they hit the bed or something again? After you fell asleep?
Yeah, they shook the bed or something.
Yeah, they shook the bed the next time.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying something of the sorts like, you said something like, stop touching effing bed, or something like that.
Yeah, or something I told him, I can't remember what, but yeah, it was pretty confrontational.
Yeah, and I'm just laying there, I'm just like, oh God, gonna get arrested abroad?
Yeah, because I think at that point then, after they was, and I could hear him talking back and forth, and I laid awake for a while, just kind of waiting for him to do something, because I feared he was going to try something.
Yeah. But they didn't, and I say it was a long night, and also to put it in this, these beds are not very comfortable.
No, they're just military style bunk beds.
Hard as a rock. I mean, some of the worst sleep I've ever had was in Ireland. But I mean, these places were relatively cheap to stay in, so I mean that's what you get, and you're sharing this with a bunch of people. So the next day, Dad was just fuming all day. I mean,
I was just waiting for the next night.
yeah, and then of course, yeah, we were looking forward to the next night because they were going to be there.
Yeah, because we'd already kind of, you know.
But well, let's say it like this: they were making sorry for language, but they were making such asses out of themselves that even the Russian kid down the front noticed that they were, you know.
Yeah, just being obnoxious.
Yeah, they were being obnoxious, and I mean,
he said, because did he say when they came in they were just really loud and
and you know, just disrupt. You know, they were just being very disruptful.
Yeah, so the next day, so we go out the next day, and that was our day in Bray, and
we went down to we went to the to
the bus station.
Train station.
We went to the bus station first because we were actually going to first take the bus down to Bray.
Yeah, oh yes, that was right.
And we stood in the rain at the bus stop, thinking that we're going to get on this bus going down to Dunleary and Bray.
But turns out that wasn't the best way to go.
Well, yeah, it turns out there wasn't even a bus that run down. We ended up talking to somebody, and they're like, "Oh no, you got to take the train."
Yeah, so
there's no buses that go to Bray.
Yeah, so this was my first time on a train. I'd never been on a moving train.
Wow.
So we went down to the train station, and we got a ticket on a train. Besides a subway, I've been on a subway.
Yeah, and this was kind of similar to like a subway.
It was just above ground. It was a subway above ground, and it went further. So we went down to this little community called Dunleary. On the map, it looks like Dunlahar. That's what it looks like on the map, but they pronounce it Dunleary. And so we went down there, and what we pretty much did was we just walked around.
We basically just wandered around, and we walked toward the coast, and we was there right on the coast of the Irish Sea, and it was cold and rainy, and
the waves were just going.
Yeah.
Crashing on the shore.
And there was this one sidewalk, and
we just started walking it.
Yeah, well, no, the one that I wanted to go to that you wouldn't.
No, because it was like you had like a period of 10 seconds before that waves were gonna crash and just.
There was this sign, that said "Beware," something about the waves can carry you out to sea.
Yeah, and Dad was wanting to walk
Let's go down here.
I'm like, no.
I'm like, oh, come on.
No. So we went down and we collected some rocks from the Irish Sea.
Yep, got my rocks.
And then so we started making our way, and we walked quite a bit. We walked quite. Yeah. I mean.
So then, there's this one. Was it Sandy Cove? I think.
Sandy Cove.
And actually, I didn't realize it, but it's a very famous little swimming hole that's for gentlemen only.
Was that what that was?
Yeah, and I read up on it later on. It's very famous, and back in the olden times, of course, it really wasn't proper for men and women, swimming together in bathing suits. God forbid.
We should have went and swam in it.
Well,
so
we passed this one old Irish gentleman, and he's got his little beret on, and we're walking through here, and it's like maybe 50 degrees out, and of course everybody's real nice, and hey, how's it going? Hey lads, you can go swimming today. Oh, the jellyfish are terrible. I'm like, there's no way I'm going swimming. That water's going to be 40 degrees.
Yeah, it's 50 degrees outside.
The jellyfish could have the water.
Yeah, talk about a cold water challenge. But
I'm like, no, dude, don't worry about us swimming. We're not swimming today.
No, that's interesting. I didn't know that was a famous water. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I read that somewhere, and because on down the way, like I said, Travis and I, we walked. We just followed the coast for a while, and we got down and seen that place where
we were walking so much that we started quoting Lord of the Rings because it just felt like it was an adventure.
Yeah, we were just walking, and we were just
we were
leaving the Shire.
We went through like 2 towns. I mean, pretty much. So we went down to Dunleary, and then we walked around. We went down to we went further down, and we got to this one area, and we started seeing little monuments talking about, they were referring about this man called James Joyce.
James Joyce,
And
who is from Sandy. I think Sandy Cove is where
Yeah.
he is from.
yeah, and what we didn't realize is James Joyce is a very famous Irish author. And he chronicled a lot of old Irish times, a lot of stories.
Release the hounds! Sorry, that was my iPad.
But anyway, so yeah, he was a very famous author, and we were just like, you know what, we're walking through the town this guy's from, and there's stuff about him all over the place, all kinds of little stones, talking with little lines of some of his work on it, and just really, it was really interesting.
Yeah, and it was just really cool. I remember we walked down to this one little village, and we walked past that old castle, kind of.
Yeah.
We were actually looking for another castle, but I don't think we ever actually got to it.
We never found it.
But, in the town, there was like the butcher shop, and it was just old time, it was old Ireland, kind of.
Yeah, very old Ireland, and it just looks so cool.
And I thought it was, when we got back to Dunleary, I was going to take the train, I think we took the train on further south.
To Bray. And
but remember we went to that like shopping mall kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because we had to use the bathroom.
Yeah, and you had to pay.
Yeah, we have no idea how good we got over here because there is no such thing as just walking in and using the bathroom at Taco Bell in Ireland.
No, you have to pay.
Yeah, it's like a quarter or whatever, €1 or.
Yeah, I think like €1.
Yeah.
So we went through like a shopping mall. It was just, it looked like just a regular shopping mall. Like what you'd find here. But I'm hoping to get through the rest of Dublin in this podcast, because we're at minute 31. So
an hour or what? What are we
minute 31.
A minute?
We're at minute 31.
Oh, we're at minute 31. Okay.
Yeah. So we went down to Bray. And we were looking down there, and we ended up stopping. We ended up getting some food down there.
Yeah.
No,
we did. We got
we did, but
French fries. It was very bad food.
Very, very bad. The ketchup was all pasty. I was like, ugh.
It was. I don't know if it was homemade ketchup.
I have no idea, but it was bad.
It was not Hunt's or Heinz. I know that.
It was bad. Very bad.
Yeah, we got like a big platter of French fries with chips, and
yeah. But we went down there, and what we saw down in Bray was very depressing. What once was a very vibrant town, and half of it was abandoned.
Yeah, it was had definitely seen better days and was kind of in decline.
It was explained to us that that's what happened after the 2008 recession.
Yeah.
Pretty much half the town went under when the global market fell.
Yeah, and up until that time, they called it the Celtic Tiger. Ireland had just a booming economy.
And then then we just destroyed it.
Well, I blame a lot of that whenever the European Union and they went to the Euro. I think, of course, in the last couple of years, Ireland, was kind of irritated. They wanted to bail out of the European Union because, whenever Greece was having all of its troubles, the Irish were all mad because they didn't want to have to
bail
out Greece. Why is it their fault that Greece, went under?
Yes, and when we were there was a lot of, like political turmoil like there is here. They wanted out of austerity.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want out of it, and then there was people who were for it, and it's just like a lot. What's going on here?
And we would see
people talk about it,
and we would see like political signs, like from Sinn Féin, which is actually the political arm of the Irish Republican Army. And it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and some people talked about. They said how austerity was very bad for Ireland, and they wanted out of the European Union. They were fed up with it, and I think I ended up hearing, like, after we left, there was some big protesting going on in Dublin near the Trinity College area.
Yeah, which I
actually heard it got a little violent.
I don't think of course they're still in the European Union, But it's kind of interesting because, of course, Ireland itself, uses the euro because they're in the European Union. But Northern Ireland, of course, is still under British control.
Pound.
Yeah, when you're in Northern Ireland, you still use the British pound, and they don't use the euros. So I thought
which is weird. But if we had to switch from euros to pounds.
yeah.
But anyway, so to get through this, so we went back from Bray and we took train and we went scouting down there. Saw some really neat stuff. That's where we first saw our big Irish hill, like the kind you see in the movies and pictures, and you have the rolling hills.
Yeah.
We saw our first big hill, and it's just like, oh, that's just so cool looking. But then we get back on the train and we head back to Dublin.
Yep, and then of course I'm sure I think we went to Temple Bar and stuff that evening,
and we went, but we couldn't really get in because Temple Bar was just packed.
It was packed full.
So we went down to another bar, and we heard some, and we listened to some more
live music. Every car had live music.
Yeah, and which that night we were listening to a guy do acoustic songs of popular American songs. I know he did Bon Jovi at one point, and he did some other stuff. But we sat in the back corner on our phones and were bumming off the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, and they would, of course, they played some Mellencamp and just different things. And,
yeah.
So then, of course, the next morning we had to get up very early to catch our bus, and we were actually going to travel to Kilkenny. So
here's running the Aussies, part 2.
Part 2 with the Aussies.
So we go back.
Yeah. So we go back, and really I know again. I know whenever they come in, I woke myself up, and I'm like, let's, because I just knew they were going to try something, and I stayed awake in my bunk. I'm kind of just waiting, just daring them to try something. I was going to be all over them.
But this night, they were being the girls from America. They were being annoying.
Yeah.
Along with them, I know at one point they were all laying in bed together.
What was that term?
And the guy's like, and the guy was trying so hard.
Oh, he was trying to score big time.
He was trying, and he was failing miserably. And at one point, he started using the term, "Hey, we should all just lay on top of each other, like meat stacking." And
meat stacking.
I remember she made some sort of comment, and it just stopped right there. And he's just like, "Oh, come on."
Yeah, shut him down.
Yeah, she shut him down, and they were just extra annoying.
Yeah, and this was like an hour.
And then they started snoring.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, then they started snoring, and then Dad just like, "I'm gonna get up and shake their bed." But so then at one point they came in and they were just so loud. The rest of them came in, they were all so loud.
Yeah, and we were trying to sleep, which I'm just laying up there, pretending to sleep.
So we get up that morning because we were early. And
of course, for somebody that's laid out drunk all night, like the Aussies did, they didn't. They was just getting really good and sound asleep whenever we're getting up.
Yeah, so we go and we get our showers and stuff. And the one guy made a comment. He's like, "Man, you guys wouldn't make good ninjas."
Yeah, and they got mad when we turned the bathroom. Yeah.
Really, Stones?
They got mad when we turned the bathroom light on, and it's like
he's like, "Shut the light off."
Yeah, it's like we're not and it really irritated. But this time I'd had my fill of the freaking Aussies.
So we get all of our stuff together, we took our showers, and then we get outside the door.
Yeah, and which we had most of our stuff packed the night before, anticipating this, so we can just get our stuff and get out there.
So,
but
explain, Dad. What did you do?
Well, they continued to mouth off, and the doors to the room, and they were pretty secure doors. In fact, they were like metal.
They're hard. They're hard doors. They're metal doors.
So we
slammed the door.
We got all of our stuff, and they're there, sleeping. And I told Travis, I said, hold this stuff, So we're sitting there outside the door, and I just kind of give Travis the look.
And I was like, "Uh-oh, what are you doing?
What are you doing?" I took that door and slammed it as hard, and it echoed through the entire hostel.
Oh, but then you were not done.
I said, "Oh, Travis, don't drop those trekking poles." And I threw them in the.
He took like these mountain trekking poles. I mean, these things are these are like
They're
metal. They're
metal clanging poles.
And he just threw them on the ground as hard as he could, and it just. and
those Aussies were right. We would not make good ninjas.
No, we would not make good ninjas. That's for sure.
I bet they were fuming, and then we then picked up our stuff and left really quick.
I mean, let's say it like this: we were so loud, there is no way they did not.
We had to wake up the entire hostel, not just our room, but everybody.
And we went down, we got our toast, and we were telling the Russian guy about it. He's like, and he was getting a kick out of how we said that the guy was using the term meat stack, and he's like, I know, I saw them last night. He was trying really hard to get with that one girl.
And he told us, he goes, man, you should have said something, if they were being obnoxious like that.
He's like,
we would have, done something about it. And we're like, no, that's cool. We're leaving now, so we're good.
He's like, yeah, we're good. So we got our stuff together, and we gave our farewells to the Russian dudes there.
Yeah. We told him, we said we'll be back here in about a week and a half.
Yep, and he's like looking forward to it. So we headed out, and we were on our way to Kilkenny. Well, I think that's it for part 2 of Ireland.
Yeah, time wise, we better cut it off here, and we can pick this up again later.
Yeah. So. We hope y'all enjoyed part 2 of it. We're gonna have there's plenty more. So I'm sure this is gonna take 30 parts.
Yeah, you guys ain't heard nothing yet.
Yeah.
Ireland was an epic journey.
Yeah. So we hope you all enjoyed this. But for now, we're just gonna take a break, and then when we come back, we're gonna have some news for you.
All right. So stay tuned.
Yep. Stay tuned.
Alive, oh, no. Alive, alive, oh. Alive, alive, oh. Crying cockles and mussels. Alive, alive, oh. Lovely. She was a fishmonger, and sure it was no wonder. So were her father and mother before, and they both wheeled their barrow to the street broad and narrow, buying cockles and mussels. Alive, alive, oh. Alive, alive, oh. Alive, alive, oh.
And now the news. Okay, I've got some news articles here I found interesting today. Do you have anything before we get started?
Well, we have some updates.
Yeah.
We need you to listen to the previous podcast first, of course, before you listen to this one. But just in case if you don't, the last podcast we talked about a story that involved a little girl who was attacked by a pit bull, and the story went is that she got told by the manager of a KFC to leave because she was scaring some of the customers.
Yeah. Oh, this poor sweet little girl and those mean, nasty Kentucky Fried Chickenites that told her that she would have to leave and there would be no mashed potatoes and macaroni and cheese for the little girl.
You sound really condescending when I say that. Do you know something that maybe all of us don't know?
Well, the story is that the whole thing was completely contrived.
No way. So what happened?
Well, the girl was mauled by a pit bull.
Okay, that's bad.
That part of it is true, but the parent or parents of the girl was using that was to gain sympathy and they kind of falsely accused Kentucky Fried Chicken of, not allowing them to eat in the restaurant, and then, of course, they were probably going to sue and everything else, and Kentucky Fried Chicken give the family like $30,000 like right off the bat.
Yep. So, what? This is a story. This is exactly what's wrong with this country.
Exactly. When you've got parents acting, how do they expect kids to grow up to be good people when you got dirtbags for parents?
I mean, when this girl grows up and when she starts realizing what was going on, I mean, she's possibly going to be known as this girl who it was a part of this scheme to to get money for her.
I mean, she was basically kind of exploited by her parents for money.
Yeah, and I guarantee you one day people are gonna they're not gonna blame the parents, they're gonna blame the girl just because she's the one that has the messed up face.
Yeah, she's got to live with it, and whenever she grows up to be an adult, she's going to look back on this whole thing and think, geez, mom and dad really didn't care about me. They just wanted money. They wanted to see how they could profit off of me.
I think it said that they were able to con like $135,000.
Yeah, it's no telling, who all they were,
of other people, and they've gotten free surgeries because of them claiming that they exploiting.
I wouldn't say they were conning. I mean, obviously the Kentucky Fried Chicken episode, they definitely was like I said, they falsely accused them, but they were really exploiting and milking that whole situation for anything they can get out of it.
Which, I mean, that's just despicable. I mean, to use that girl, I mean, that poor girl. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the girl, she was mauled and she's going to be disfigured the rest of her life. That's a fact, but...
I mean, what's going on with our country? I mean, what's wrong with these people? I mean, do we not have morals anymore? I mean,
no,
is all that back behind us? Is it every person for themselves now?
The moral compass of this country right now is very, very skewed. It's when you have politicians doing what they're doing, which we try to keep the politics out of this show as much as we can. But there's been some things going on this week that is just as despicable as the Pitbull girl.
Yeah,
and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't help but think. It's like, I mean, this is wrong, and I mean, there's people out there who say that these people over here are evil, or the opposite people are saying these people over here are evil. No, what we all need to be focusing on are these people, like these parents. I mean, this is just despicable. It's un-American.
We are, and for a long time we've been in a very sue happy society, where you've got these lawyers putting commercials on TV daily that, if you've been wronged, if you were a victim of this, or if you took this drug or that drug, you can get millions of dollars, and it's just people just think that that's just normal, and that's they can get rich, they can make it big if they just sue somebody. The old woman that spilled the coffee on her at McDonald's. Well, I'm sorry, coffee is hot, and if you spill it, you might get burnt.
Well, it all comes down to Adam Carolla talks about this. He says he remembers back in the day, whenever you watched daytime television, there would be commercials on there, would be like encouraging people to go out and get a job. It'd be like, go do this, go get your CDL, go become a truck driver, or go do this and this. He said nowadays it's, have you been hurt in a car accident? There's money waiting for you. It's just, or you can tell what kind of state you live in whenever every billboard is, has someone wronged you, which we see them around here.
Yeah.
But I mean, have we became a country where no one takes responsibility for their own actions
and
anymore?
You got these lawyers are just tempting people, just planting that seed that, listen, if you're in this car wreck, we could get you some money.
I think these lawyers, I mean,
You
I
can't
think
lump it all on the lawyers, but they really
I think they have a lot to do with what's going on.
they exploit it as much as the parents of that little girl did.
They are police of the law. They're the ones who actually enforce the law in the very end. It's the lawyers. They work it, they milk it, just to get their own money. Like I know for a fact that like a divorce court, that's nothing but just a big money fest for the lawyers.
Yeah, and with all the marketing and the demographics and stuff, when do they air these commercials? Late at night,
Or during the day,
or during when people are who
when
don't
people
have jobs,
who don't have jobs,
are at home watching Phil Donahue or
Judge Judy.
Judge Judy, and Jerry Springer, and
Yeah, these are the commercials they see. They see, have you
that's-
been wronged?
that's the target audience. Is
Yeah.
people that are watching that garbage.
Yeah, because we all know they don't play good stuff during the day. even on satellite, they don't.
And
or-
I threw Phil Donahue under the bus, which I was just kind of sitting there thinking because
Maury.
Maury. But Phil Donahue was probably the granddaddy of this trashy TV, and Phil was a little classier than some of them. But whenever I was like junior high, and when school was out and I was at home during the day, just kicking back, not doing anything. I didn't have my license yet. And what was on TV? Of course, we didn't have cable. It was like 3 channels. But, Phil Donahue would have on some kind of a transvestite, and that was the whole start of this whole trash TV. And just the degrading of the moral fiber of our country. Then come along Geraldo, and, he gets in the fight with the white supremacists, and it's just all this sensationalized, what kind of weirdo can we put on TV today? And of course, Geraldo was, infamously hit in the face with a chair and got his nose broke, and he had it coming. So good for you.
Well, I think Jerry Springer refined it.
Springer took it to a whole. Springer was the Dennis Rodman of talk shows. He took it to a whole nother level.
But I've heard some interviews with him where he talks about his show, and he says that the point of his show is to expose what people really are, and and when you watch Jerry Springer, you see it.
Yeah.
He's like, this is what people really are. A little fun fact, or just a little quiz for you. How old do you think Jerry Springer is?
Oh gosh, I would guess he's probably 60, mid 60s.
No. Nope.
No,
Older.
really.
Guess again.
70,
Older.
80.
I think he's like 83.
Wow.
Can you believe that?
I kind of can.
And he's still going, and he doesn't look 83 at all.
No.
He still looks like what he looked like 30 years ago.
and Springer's no dummy. Of course, he was the ex-mayor of Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah, I've listened to some interviews with him on other podcasts. He's very intelligent.
Oh yeah. But that's just Howard Stern. Took his shot. It was just. But Phil Donahue.
Yeah.
Started it.
but I don't blame Jerry Springer. I think what he did was great.
Okay. So, anyways, that was the one story though that we wanted to kind of touch base on and kind of let you know where that's at. With the little girl with the KFC and the pit bull and all that.
And you have another story, but we also have another update.
Yeah.
After that, you go ahead with yours first.
Okay. Yeah, we do have another update on another topic that we kind of touched on previously, but one of the other news topics that I got, well, for starters, I'll kind of throw this one in first. Sting from The Police was in the news. Entertainer, but obviously very successful. He come out and made a statement that I think his net worth is like $300 million.
A lot of money.
Yeah, he's very very well off, but he made the statement this week that he was not going to give his children, I think he has 6 children, any of that money because he
jerk.
Yeah, I mean, I asked people at work about this today, and kind of seeing what people thought. Of course, Sting, his weird mind, is saying
Not very many people like him.
Yeah.
Well, I
he
mean,
just-
like personally, people around him don't like him.
Yeah, but his thinking is that he wants to do his children a favor and make them earn their own way in life. And
Which is noble.
yes,
It's noble.
but it's like I was telling Travis, if I was worth 300 mil and give all of my money to some charity, would he not be completely terribly mad at me?
I would like at least $1 million.
No, you make it on your own, son, just like I did. I'm not giving you nothing.
Like I said,
I'm playing Sting. That's my
yeah,
Sting impersonation.
like I said, it's noble. It is noble.
Yeah.
And I think if you make $100,000 a year and you have kids, then maybe that is the good way to go. But if you're worth as much as Sting, $300 million to not give it a penny to your kids, that's a slap in the face.
Well, I think if you're worried about your kids growing up to be good, productive people,
Then
if
teach
you raise
them
them-
the necessary skills.
yeah, if you raised them right, they should be able to take that money and continue and do good things with it. I've heard of people that have loads of tons of money, and instead of giving all the money to their children in inheritance, they put it in a trust fund and have stipulations put on that money that they must go out and work and get a job, and maybe they make $100,000 last year. Okay, great. You made $100,000. Now you are entitled to another $100,000 from your trust. So that gives a kid incentive to go out and be successful. Because however much, if you make $30,000 a year, you get $30,000 out of your inheritance.
Yeah.
So I can maybe see that. But
Like I said, I heard an interview with some of the remaining members of the police, and I know that they say it like this: they created their own new band without Sting in it.
Geez,
So-
I wonder why.
So that just kind of shows you what kind of relationship they have with Sting.
Yeah, I think Sting just kind of comes off to me as just one of those snobby British.
He
People
he
who-
thinks he's better than
Yeah,
everyone.
who just a little bit better.
But which let's just face it, the British do make the best music, or they at least did back in the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah, they've had their moments. I'll give them that.
Yeah, at least back in that day, they did make the best music.
But
Which continue on with your music stories. You
yeah,
have another one.
that kind of little bit of a music theme going here. The other thing that I saw was that Bob Dylan was in the news.
Hey guys,
Yeah,
Hey, guys.
Bob Dylan.
my name Bob Dylan.
Yeah, like a Rolling Stone.
My name rhymes with ceiling.
Bob Dylan. The handwritten lyrics to "Like a Rolling Stone" was auctioned off today. And Travis, how much do you think somebody paid for the handwritten lyrics of "Like a Rolling Stone," which Dylan wrote in 1965 when he was 24 years old? And he wrote it on a stationery from some hotel in Washington, D.C., the Roger Smith Hotel.
150,000.
Wrong answer.
75,000.
Wrong answer.
50,000.
No. Okay, let me give you some.
You're asking how much the guy paid for it.
Let me give you some perspective. In 2010, the handwritten lyrics to "A Day in the Life," that was the final track off the Beatles' 1967 Sgt. Pepper album, it sold at auction for $1.2 million.
Well, that's understandable. That's John Lennon.
Yeah.
I mean that's definitely that price is right.
So okay, I'll go ahead and let you in on here. The Bob Dylan lyrics sold at Sotheby's auction house for $2.4 million.
So what you're saying is that Bob Dylan is worth more than John Lennon.
Twice as much.
What is wrong with this world?
Yeah, and
Bob Dylan was not that good.
no, don't be trashing on Bob.
hey guys.
He was in the Traveling Wilburys.
Hey guys. My name's Bob Dylan. My name rhymes with ceiling.
Hey, you gotta kind of go like this, and you gotta use your hands a lot, and look around, and make it look like a rolling stone. And,
You know what's really funny? You know what's really funny is when that guy named Chumley asked my autograph. And I wrote to Chumley.
Travis is referring to the
Episode of Pawn Stars.
Pawn Stars. Bob Dylan was going to be in town, and
They had a record.
Rick had gotten this original
It was
Bob Dylan. You know,
It was
album.
rare.
Yeah. So he sends Chumley to the Dylan concert with like a backstage pass. Of course, they wanted him to get it autographed so they could.
So it'd be worth
that
more.
would make it worth more. Yeah. So they send Chumley out, and he comes back, and hey, I got that Bob Dylan autograph, and man, he was really cool, and he was nice about it, and it's like, oh man, they were so happy with Chumley, and
then on the record,
he hands it to Rick, and it says
to Chumley.
which and of course they're like, they act like it wasn't worth anything, but I'm thinking,
I guarantee you,
it's a plus. You've got a reference to
Pawn Stars,
to Pawn Stars and Chumley.
and Bob Dylan on a rare Bob Dylan vinyl at that.
Yeah, but Rick was all pissed off about it.
I mean, that thing should be worth $2.5 million if you think about it. Now it is.
Just if nothing else, just with the backstory behind it,
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was kind of cool.
But no, he's not worth more than John Lennon. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah.
When you think of British rock, you think of Beatles. You don't think of Bob Dylan first.
No.
Well, maybe some people do, but
of course, and Dylan wasn't a Brit, but
still,
but that same era.
It was the same style. It was the same type of music. It was kind of.
But
he had that folk thing going on, and
it actually said the seller of this handwritten draft.
How much did he sell?
It doesn't say. It just said that this guy actually bought the music off of Bob Dylan. It did give a price, but you just wonder how much did he pay Bob Dylan for that?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that he probably didn't pay as much as what it was worth. So.
Yeah, I'm sure Dylan's probably thinking, yeah, I sold them lyrics for $100,000. Anyways, so yeah, you don't know what Dylan sold it for, but I'm sure he probably.
Okay, but we're starting to run out of time, so we have one last story to get to, real quick.
The Sudanese woman who was
update.
Yeah, update on the Sudanese woman who was condemned to die for having sexual relations out of marriage, but she was actually married. You remember the story? She is freed today. They let her free. Yep. I don't know actually the particulars behind it. I do know that they said that she was rearrested
at the airport
and detained at the airport, so they had to get in a couple more good jabs before they let her go. But I think they did finally. The article I read said after a few hours, she was let go. So the Sudanese woman is free. She's not going to get hung.
Like I said,
and she did have her baby, I think.
Okay. Well, like me and you kind of talked a little bit about this off air. It seems really fishy to me that they just out of the blue just let her go. These are Muslims. This does not happen.
Yeah, I'm sure there had to be some pressure put on them. I know
Ted Cruz was really big on, fighting to get this woman free. But I don't know if Ted Cruz has that much power over in Sudan.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, something was going on there, and who knows? I mean, I don't know if it's just because of all the bad stuff going on in that area of the world, or just, I mean, I know it's not exactly that same area, but there's just a lot of tensions going on with other things.
There's been a lot of turmoil in the Horn of Africa and Sudan, and I don't know, was the government bought off or?
That's what I want to know. I mean, this just doesn't seem right. I mean, a couple weeks ago they were headstrong on putting this woman to death, and out of the blue they let her go.
And now, if we can just get that poor Marine out of Mexico, we'll be good.
Didn't I see somewhere where the Mexico Army was taking shots at Californians at a certain area in California?
I didn't see that.
Like taking pot shots at people?
No, I didn't see that.
I think I saw something that was talking about that. I think we'll have to get back together with all of you on that one.
Yeah,
But,
we'll have to research that. Like I said, I know the last I actually read on the Marine that's still in jail in Mexico was his family had hired some Mexican rock star attorney to, get him out, which is complete nonsense. One phone call should be able.
From the president.
Yeah.
I mean, that should be good enough. I mean, they got Bo Bergdahl out of hands of terrorists, but they can't get a Marine out of the hands of Mexicans. I mean, I'm just saying, that's all I have to say about that at the moment. But
and I did also and you brought up Bo Bergdahl, and I know we've not really talked about it, but he is, I think he's been released out of the hospital, and he's now having some outpatient treatments done. So it didn't say he's been arrested yet. I don't. They failed to say anything about Leavenworth, but he's getting outpatient treatments now. So
okay, well, we'll have to see what's going on with that the next time we do our podcast, which will be in about 2 weeks, I'd say.
Okay.
Well, no, we'll be doing our live event.
Yeah,
so,
we'll have the live event coming up on the 4th of July. So.
Yeah, so we'll probably talk about it maybe. Well, maybe.
Oh yeah, it's the 4th of July. What? Let's celebrate liberty.
Now, I think we'll probably have a good 4th of July themed show planned for that night. I think we should go as patriotic as possible.
Yeah.
I think talk about good, wholesome American things. No politics. Let's go no politics. Let's just full on, like, these are things that you need to know about, or just things maybe not very many people know about. I just don't think it's very. People are gonna get me fired up, and I'm gonna say something that's gonna upset someone in public. So.
Oh yeah, but the 4th of July. I mean, that's.
Yeah, but I think we have enough negativity year round. I think this 4th of July we need to be more positive and more optimistic. I believe we still have an America left, and all we need to do is get rid of these people, like the parents of that girl, of the guy attacked by the pit bull. We need to get rid of her.
And Phil Donahue.
I'm all for getting that thing back. In the center towns where they used to shackle people up.
Yeah.
And public shaming. It's like, oh well, you shot and killed that person's cow right in front of their face because you didn't like it because it crossed on your land. Well, guess what? We're gonna lock you up and put you in the middle of town for a couple hours, and people are gonna come spit on you, throw a tomato at you or something, and you'll go about your way. I think we should do that again.
Yeah,
what do you think?
But sometimes, it depends on the circumstances. A good friend of mine at work, Jesse, took a trip to Boston and did the whole witch trials and a couple of Halloweens ago. But the one man that was accused of being a witch at the Salem witch trials,
Giles.
I forget his name.
Giles.
Was it Giles? She went to his grave, and I guess they gave him a burial, but on the grave it had the quote of the last thing that he said, and the way that they killed him,
they stacked stones on top of him.
They stacked stones on him, and they kept asking him, do you wish to renounce your sins, or do you want him to?
More stone is what he yelled.
Yeah, more weight, more stones, and that's what's written on his tombstone.
More stone.
And he was defiant till the end, because he was not going to renounce anything or say he was guilty of anything.
Nope.
He just said, more stone.
More stone.
So,
and
shout out to my friend Jesse. That was for you.
Wait, what did that have to? What did that have to do with liberty?
He was defiant till the end.
That was one of
And
the
I
more
said-
dark. That was one of the darker times of our American history.
Yeah. And sometimes that's what it takes. So, in that dark time, he still, whether he was a witch or not, I think it's pretty well decided that most all the people who were killed in the witch trials actually weren't witches, and I'd say probably a good chance that this Giles guy was not a witch either. And like I said, he was defiant.
And that's that.
That's it.
Well, all right. Well, that was a good show.
That was very interesting. It was a good time.
Yeah, and like I said, I plan on having this up tonight.
All right.
So I'm planning on having both shows up tonight.
Yeah, and remember, we will try to do the live podcast at the 4th of July before the fireworks.
During the farmer's market.
Definitely. And if you need to contact us, again, remember, you can get us on Facebook, Twitter, or you can email us at DanaandTravisShow@gmail.com.
Yep. Please message us. Do all that good stuff. Please share us with other people. That'd be much appreciated, for sure.
Definitely. So let's take this thing out of here then, Travis.
All right. Well, until next time, when we see you and speak to you again, we would like to leave you with these parting words. You be careful now.